officials appreciate good sportsmanship. We'd also like to remind you the Lindbergh Schools Board of Education has adopted a policy promoting a smoke-free environment for all. Please abide by this policy and refrain from smoking or using smokeless tobacco products, including electronic cigarettes, on our campus grounds. We thank you for your cooperation.
Just be overcast a little bit.
They're green, yeah. They are. I thought maybe sitting over there. Yeah.
Field looks good.
Yeah, it does.
You should tell us that.
Okay.
It's
A very good afternoon, soccer fans. On behalf of the students and staff, I'd like to welcome you to Flyers Field at Lindbergh High School for Missouri State High School Activities Association Class 4 quarterfinal soccer action between the Markers from Nernix High School and your Lindbergh Flyers. The Markers are proud members of the Metro Women's Athletic Association, and the Flyers proud members of the Suburban West Conference.
Big keeper.
Ladies and gentlemen, please stand. Remove your hats. Honor America. And on this Memorial Day weekend, remember our friends and relatives stationed around the world protecting our freedom for the playing of our national anthem. Welcome to our friends and Marker fans from Nernix Hall. We hope you enjoyed yourselves this afternoon. It's great to have you with us. Now let's meet the starters. Nernix Hall, with a record of 17-3-2, reached this quarterfinal matchup by winning their district, beating Parkway South and Koryezu, and by winning their sectional, beating Eureka 2-1 in double overtime on Wednesday. Now let's meet their starters. A senior wearing number 1. Correction, a junior wearing number 2, Allison Brown. A junior wearing number 3, Ella Hessick. A senior wearing number 7, Allison Host. A junior wearing number 9, Jessica Fraser. A senior wearing number 10, Emma Christinal. A senior wearing number 16, Madeline Allgaier. A junior wearing number 20, Rachel Solberud. A junior wearing number 25, Lindsay Heckel. A sophomore wearing number 26, Sydney Smith. A sophomore wearing number 28, Mackenzie Duff. And in goal for your Markers this afternoon, a junior wearing number 0, Elizabeth Kelly. Ladies and gentlemen, your Nernix Hall Markers, their head coach is Brian Haddock. Now let's meet your Flyers. A freshman wearing number 2, Morgan Goodrich. A senior wearing number 6, Megan Bondesto.
Yeah, Megan!
A senior wearing number 8, Carly Bacardi.
Yeah, Carly!
A senior wearing number 9, Peyton Hussman.
Yeah, Peyton!
A sophomore wearing number 11, Katie Grapey.
Here you go, Katie!
A senior wearing number 14, Kelsey Gordon.
Kelsey!
A senior wearing number 16, Katie Miller.
Hey, KT!
A junior wearing number 17, Mara Hagley.
Mara!
A senior wearing number 20, Julie Bondistel.
Little Julie!
A senior wearing number 23, Caitlin Akers. And your goalie for your Flyers this afternoon is junior wearing number 1, Allie Sheely. The head coach of the Flyers is Mr. Mark Giesing. The Flyers, with a record of 16-9, reached this quarterfinal matchup by winning their district, beating Fox and Melville, and by beating Jackson 2-1 in overtime on Tuesday in their sectional game.
All right, Flyers!
Quarterfinal game between the Nernix Markers.
We'd like to remind everyone that guest services at Flyers Field are available at the south end of the athletic complex. Concession stands and restrooms are available for your convenience in this area. If you need any other assistance during the game, please see a member of the Lindbergh administrative team. The Missouri State High School Activities Association and our member soccer schools give a special thanks to Wilson, a supporter of the 2019 state soccer tournament. The Forte 2 soccer ball is the official ball of the 2019 state series. Special thanks are extended to Wilson's support of Missouri soccer.
5 goals and 5 assists. Goalie for this game is Allie Chili, and the team is coached by
one less day of rest.
Audrey Goodman-Bauer and Allie Woodley. Weapons for this game are Tim Walsh, Steve Myroff, and Joe Wadzlowski. Get set as Woodland One Sports brings you the Class 4 sectional in girls soccer between the Nernix Markers and the Lindbergh Flyers this 25th day of May 2019. Players have been announced and are out on the field. The Lindbergh team is here in their solid greens with yellow numbering. The Nernix Markers are here in their whites with green lettering. It is a overcast day, but overall the weather's nice. You can it's a little bit humid, but there is a nice breeze that might slow some of these players down. And now Nernix jogs out onto the field. Starting for the Nernix Markers will be number 2, Allison Brown, number 3, Ella Hasek, number 7, Allison Host, number 9, Jessica Prusser, number 10, Emma Kristenall, number 16, Madeline Allgeier, number 20, Rachel Solverid, number 25, Lindsay Heckel, number 26, Sydney Smith, number 28, Mackenzie Duff, and in goal will be Elizabeth Kelly. Players are out on the field. Wind is in a south and north kind of breeze. Liz Kelly will be guarding the north goal. We have kickoff. Ball is kicked downfield down towards the Lindbergh goal. Attempt to clear it up is slow. This is a grass field. As the ball goes out, Rachel Solberg will do a throw in. Initially, she tosses it over to Hasek. Hasek does the throw towards the near side post as it bounces the turf, comes down. Attempt to center up, but there are 3 green jerseys there. That would normally spell good news for the Nernix fans, but on today, that means it's Lindbergh. Shout out to Derek Heckel, who intended to be here, but business took him out of town. He's in Jefferson City, helping those citizens get power and electricity.
Seen you for a long time. Maybe 2 weeks now.
Again, except for a throw in here. It will be Nernix with the throw in here on the near side corner. Here comes the throw up towards the goal. Headed down by Heckel and caught by the goalkeeper, Chile. Comes the drop kick. Comes up just past the midfield line, comes down. Lindbergh fighting for the ball. Pass back over on the right side.
They're bumping into each other, ready?
Duff passes up, comes up in the top of the box here. Lindbergh with the ball. Little chip pass upfield towards the midfield line. Controlled by Nernix. Pass up top to Heckel. She passes over, little crosser. Hasek, the goalkeeper comes out and Hasek comes in on it. She slides and takes control of that ball. Nice defensive move by Allie Chewy. Comes a drop kick. Comes down as Duff controls it, dribbles upfield. She now passes up towards Prusser. Prusser dribbles up towards the middle of the field, does a little chip pass over to Hassick. She goes back again to Allgaier. Allgaier taps it over and now comes over to the near sideline. Cross-field pass brought down and now goes out to Allie Brown. Brown passes into Heckel, surrounded by green jerseys. She ball comes back, over, tries to keep it up. Coming back is Allgaier. Allgaier takes control, passes back up to Heckel. Heckel dribbling, trying to push through. She now kicks one at the goal, and that's an easy catch for goalkeeper Allie Chile.
Here we go, Green.
As she now lets the teams draw back. She now does drop kick. That comes down about 10 meters past the midfield line. Being controlled by Braun Distel. Auden Distel, I should say.
Only taking so long.
Ball comes back up to Prusser. Prusser kicks it out towards the far sideline, and that will go out. It will be a Lindbergh throw-in. 36 minutes here in the first half of play. We are 0-0 underway here at the field at Lindbergh High School.
Let's go, Lindbergh! Come on, let's go! Go!
As Lindbergh tries to bring it up, comes up to the midfield line.
Girls, where are you?
Ball comes upfield, headed back, as Lindbergh now dribbles along the far sideline.
Let's go!
Nice big sign here right in front of the stands, and that is, this is Lindbergh Stand and Deliver. Nice big gold eagle head on that. We are not quite a full house, but certainly a lot of fans here, and they're all wearing green, a little bit of yellow. It's hard to really know the difference between who's here to be supporting Lindbergh and who's here supporting Nernix. Ball's now thrown in by Lindbergh. It is contested by Duff.
Come on, girls, take it down!
Americans will pop towards the goal. It's wide, but that will come down and retrievable by Higley. She now kicks in front of the goal. Kelly comes out and catches that in traffic, and we've got a collision as the players go to the turf. And the referee stops play. There is an injury down there. We're not sure how this is going to work itself out, if everybody's fine.
Way to follow the ball in, Morgan.
Liz Kelly holding her head, and now Matt Margulis, the trainer for Nernix, comes out. He's going to check things out here. All right, we're going to go to a quick break while they sort things down out on the field. You are listening to the Class 4 quarterfinal here at Lindbergh High School between the Lindbergh Flyers and the Nernix Markers. We'll be right back after this.
Whether it's balls and strikes, fouls or flags, your referees and game officials are a vital part of high school athletics. If you've ever tried your hand at officiating, you know how hard these men and women work, and you certainly know that they would never miss a call intentionally. Keep these things in mind as you attend sporting events. After all, respecting officials and authority figures is one of the most valuable lessons that we can teach our students. This message has been brought to you by your friends at this local radio station and the Missouri State High School Activities Association.
I like it. Oh, good. I'm so glad you got it.
go Green.
All right, welcome back to Flyers Field on the campus of Lindbergh
Now in
Preparatory
goal for the
School.
Markers, number 1, Sarah
So
Rottencutter.
Liz Kelly is up. She's walked out on her own accord, but she's being replaced for now by Sarah Ruttencutter, who comes in the goal. She wears the number 1 for the Markers. And Silverwood will be taking a goal kick, which comes upfield, comes down at the midfield line. Yes, Pruser. Sorry, that was not Pruser. That was Host. Tries to pass out. She can't. Duff now trying to get the ball. Goes up the midfield line. Booted upfield by Grafe. And now that is kicked out. This will be a throw-in at the near side corner. Comes the throw up towards the goal, headed down. Another whistle. This will be a free kick for Silverwood. Deep on the Markers into the field here. She kicks it low, comes down in front of Higley as Duff now gets it. Tries to pass it up, and it is intercepted by Goodrich, and now being contested by Hasek. And now an attempt to kick it out of bounds off of the Lindbergh player, has it go out, and this will be a Lindbergh throw-in. Throwing in will be Higley. Throws it in up towards the goal, headed by Duff. Comes upfield to Hasek. She passes up midfield to Heckel. Heckel passes back, and now Pruser gives us a little soft tap up towards the sideline as Hasek tries to keep it in bounds and can't. This will be a throw-in for Grafe on the near side. Deep in Lindbergh territory, she throws it up to Silverwood at the midfield line. She dribbles it, passes up to Heckel. Heckel dribbles past, pops one across the field up towards Allie Brown, who's fighting for it. And Lindbergh now with control, dribbling cross field. They try to pass, it goes to Hasek. Wide open spot there on the near side, and she now taps it up towards the far side corner as Allie Brown tries to chase it down, and that will go out as a throw-in for Nernix up in front of the flag of the far side corner. We are on Lindbergh's end of the field, so a bit of an opportunity here. Comes a throw in towards the net, headed away. Ball is kicked up towards the midfield line, now centered back downfield as now big boot downfield. Ruttencutter comes out. She kicks it downfield. And that is grabbed at midfield by Grafe, who comes upfield, and that big bounce is now towards Ruttencutter, who picks it up. Under the threat of Maura Higley.
That's what we already, that's why we're here.
Silverwood fights for the ball, kicks it upfield. Hasek up alone as 3 Flyers come in, and she tries to center it up towards Heckel, can't do it. Gets kicked downfield. Now second kick, and that goes out to Bondendistel. Now kicked out again, and this will be a Lindbergh throw-in deep in the Nernix end of the field.
Henry Fisher, please report to the press.
31:03 on the clock. In the first half of play, we're 0-0. Maura Higley with the throw-in deep towards the goal. Comes down, dribble back. Pruser steals it. Kicks it out of bounds. Will be a throw-in for
That was a nice toss right on her foot.
Katie Grafe.
Did well.
Comes to throw-in, headed up. 2 heads.
Way to hustle, Lindbergh. Way to hustle. Get that ball. Get that.
Ball up in the midfield line. Booted straight down towards the net, headed upfield by Duff. That ball goes out to the far side corner. Kicked upfield by Sydney Smith.
I just moved so I wouldn't.
It's a full threat Nernix team. Only one senior starting this year, which means that you can expect the same team back next year, probably a bit better than this year. Ball goes back to the Lindbergh goal keep. She kicks it upfield, goes out of bounds. This will be a Nernix throw-in, about 20 meters in front of the midfield line. Throw, attempt to head it out, stays in, and now Lindbergh tries to dribble it up, passes up, comes down off of the foot of Allgaier. Now comes back to Silver. Silver's at the midfield line, gets some interference, but kept in play, goes to Pruser. To Allgaier. Now it's kicked out. Hassick will throw in for Nernix. Here comes the throw. Up towards the near side corner to Heckel. She's guarded by 2. Now, pass from Hassick back to Heckel. Gets knocked out of bounds. This will be a Lindbergh throw-in.
Should be offsides.
You're listening to the Class 4 quarterfinal here at Lindbergh Preparatory School. I'm Shawn Greene. It's basically 3 games left in the season. One team will have 3 games left in the season. One team, this will be their last. The ball is loose in front of the goal. Picked up by Chile. It's a team shift downfield. I thank Scott Lusick, the AD here, for getting me in. I also want to give a shout out to Mill. Mill shouted to me out in the stands. She's here wearing green. I didn't expect any less of her. As Allgaier goes after the ball and gets knocked down. It will be a free kick taken by Solverid. This is about 30 meters in front of the midfield line. So, depending upon her kick, it could be a nice attempt on goal. Sheely's ready for it. She's standing by the near side post. Now she walks out towards the middle. Goes about 3/4 of distance, about a quarter of the way towards the far side post. Here comes the kick, and it goes right into the hands of Sheely. It's almost as though she knew ahead of time where that ball was getting kicked. Team shift downfield as she gets set for the drop kick, and there we go. Drop is up, comes out to midfield. It is grabbed by Sydney Smith, digs it up, field a little bit, it will roll out, and this will be a Lindbergh throw-in on the Lindbergh end of this field. 27-minute mark is what we just hit. We're still 0-0 here in the first half of play. Ball's tapped up. Comes down.
There we go.
Nice high kick up out of bounds by Nernix. So this will be a Lindbergh throw-in.
Got all 3 of them.
Comes the throw-in. Up towards the far side corner as Nernix smothers the offensive player. Now kicked up as the dribble comes up. A pass upfield gets past Heckel. Now past the midfield line. In control by Lindbergh, who returns it upfield. And Allgaier comes in trying to get the ball. Ball comes passed back. Lindbergh moving with it with Bodendistel. And we have another foul, and this will translate into a free kick for Sydney Smith, and a little bit of unsportsmanship there as the player just tosses the ball past her, makes her go back. She takes the kick, it's upfield, kick loose, it's on the loose, Heckel comes in, trying to get through it all. The ball's still loose, here comes the kick, and it doesn't happen, it comes off a player. Heckel was not going to concede that, and she just came in on that. Didn't matter that the goalie came out, and she just kept moving and kept that ball loose. Here's Heckel. She has the ball loose again up on the near sideline. Hassick gets basically a check, and this will be a free kick for Nernix. Looks like Heckel might be taking this. No, she's not. Looks like the kick will be by Crystal. And so the teams are all lined up at the top of the box over by the far side post. Here comes Crystal with the kick. 2 persons in front. She kicks it over to the right. It's loose. Headed back. And we have a whistle, and this will be another Nernix kick. Right in front of the goal. This will be one-on-one.
Allie! Chili!
Looks like they're having Cruiser is taking this. She's one-on-one with Chile. Here comes the kick. It's in! It's in! She catches it. She catches the inside post. Chile just freezes a bit and doesn't know exactly where to go, and right, left, and she got it about a meter to the right of the near side post. Nernix takes the lead here, 1-0. A penalty kick from the foot of old reliable Jessica Pruser. 24:32 on the clock for that score. You're listening to the Class 4 quarterfinal right here on Woodland One Sports. We have the kickoff, and 2 players get wound up, and we will have a free kick. Lindbergh, a bit anxious out there right now. So we will have a free kick here for Lindbergh.
Yep, he did.
About 30 meters in front of the midfield line. Over on the far side.
Partial makeup for a bad play.
Sarah Ruttencutter still in the game here for Nernix. The regular goalkeeper. Liz Kelly taken out. She had a collision with a Lindbergh player earlier. Comes the kick.
Come on, Grace.
Ball's over here on the near side. It goes back.
Go to the ball! All right, Grace.
Tapped up. Loose. It's all white jerseys. Big tap up to the midfield line. Headed back by Lindbergh.
Come in.
There you go. That's all right.
And the ball gets tapped out of bounds accidentally by
Let's go, Lindbergh.
Higley.
Come on.
I'm sorry, not Higley. That is Grafe. So this will be next throw in. Hasek throws up to Heckle. Now cleared out by Lindbergh. Tap back up to Heckle by Nernix. As Pruser gets it, kicks it up through the middle. Nobody's there except for a green jersey. It's Bacardi. Chases after it, and she kicks it out of bounds. This will be a throw-in for Nernix. We are 23-22 on the clock. Nernix now leading this one 1-0.
Get it, girls.
Wrestle for the ball, kick it back up towards the midfield line. And the kick goes out of bounds. This will be a Lindbergh throw-in.
Take it down. All the way.
Comes the throw-in up towards the midfield line. And now Nernix contests for the ball. Still moving now towards along the far sideline, towards the Lindbergh net as they fight for it up, and Allie Brown gets knocked down. Lindbergh kicks it upfield. Something we've seen in these past few games, referees are just letting the ladies play. They're not, somebody falls down, they're not calling it. The kick goes from the far side towards the net and hits the side of the net. No real threat there for Chile. Calls that players might otherwise get in the regular season, they're not getting right now. As I said, just letting these ladies play. Let it get a little physical. And a little pass over to Grafe, gets past her and out of bounds. It's a throw-in for Hasek.
Here's Aaron, go two.
He throws it in, trying to give Heckle a lead, but she doesn't get it. Lindbergh kicks it upfield. Now kicked back.
Go to the ball. Come on, you guys.
Open.
Nice.
Go, Mark. Go, Aaron, go.
Ball kicked up again along the near sideline. Duff charges down for that, and Ruttencutter picks it up. No real threat there.
You're fine.
Little shout out again. Derek Heckel, who's listening in on the broadcast. Wish you were here, brother. Ball comes back. Comes off ahead. The big question on everybody's mind, should Nernix make it to Swope Field for the semifinals? Will Woodland One Sports be there? We don't know yet, folks. We're going to put a tin can out in front of the Nernix door. Drop a couple bucks in there. How about that? Heckel with the ball. She tries to cross it up, and that comes down. It's loose, and Chile picks it up. Could have been another opportunity there for Nernix, but alas, thwarted by Chile. It was kicked out. This will be a throw-in for Lindbergh up on the far sideline towards the midfield line. 20 minutes, 24 seconds on the clock. We are 1-0 favoring Nernix. As I mentioned, one senior playing on this team right now. Lindsay Heckel will return. Mackenzie Duff will return. Jessica Prusser will return.
Go Flyers!
This Allison Host will not return. So 2 seniors. Starting seniors. 15:45 on the clock. Ball's out. Lindbergh will throw it in, which she does. Up towards the midfield line as Nernix now takes control. Little chip up the far sideline, and that is kicked out. This will be a Nernix throw in as they move on closer towards the goal. And now the stands are filling up here. More and more people showing up. Comes the throw in, off ahead. It's loose. Lindbergh sets it up into an open spot down there. Duff comes in. A kick towards the net is slow and bouncing and easily picked up by Chile.
Come on, Aaron. Come on, Aaron. We need you.
Interesting story here is that Mackenzie Duff plays, of course, in the select programs, and the goalie for her team is a player here at Lindbergh. She doesn't even play goal. So the question is does she do that to add more oomph? Here comes Heckel on a breakaway. She passes off to the right. Allie Brown trying to control. She can't. Cleared up. Or is Allie Chile that great of a goalie?
Center to the corner. Center, get there, Grace. Oh.
Hasek dribbling the ball up, kicks it from midfield, all the way down. I have a whistle, foul of some kind. This will be a free kick here for Chile. We'll kick it way up at the top of the box. Here comes the kick. Low and just up to the midfield line. Pass up to the center of the field. As Prusser comes in from behind and kicks the ball loose.
Help her, help her.
Lindbergh still controlling as it gets passed over here on the right to Mears.
Good work.
Hassett comes in and makes sure that that thing gets kicked out of bounds to give everybody a reprieve. It is sticky out here today.
Yeah, not good.
And replacements come into the game for both Nernix but mostly Lindbergh. And one of those going out will be Katie Grace.
Playing for the Flyers, number 18, Rosie Hess. Number 21, Cindy.
And coming in will be Rosie Hess, who will now throw the ball in.
Go Flyers.
She will place Grafe. Here comes the throw. 17:05 on the clock. We're 1-0. This ball gets knocked out of bounds. This will be a Lindbergh throw in again.
Get it down there, girls. Get her down.
There we go.
16:43 on the clock. So we have another foul. This will be a free kick for Lindbergh. At the top of the box over on the right side. And teams line up. Fake, a pop towards the far side post. Comes out and Rut Cutter. Boy, that was almost a goal by Lindbergh. But Rut Cutter was there and headed it off right there and was able to get her hands on that ball and stop it. She went down to the turf on that. And it was a much closer battle, and I think everybody understands. Ball's loose with Heckel. Heckel coming in. She kicks and just high hits the corner of the meeting of the crossbar and the left post. Nailed it right there. Had she made her move just a half second earlier, might have had a different outcome. But those Lindbergh players came on her pretty quickly. Here comes the goal kick. Downfield past Hasek, and this will be a Nernix throw-in by Solverig. You're listening to the Class 4 quarterfinal here at Lindbergh Preparatory School. And Shawn Greene, ball's loose as Heckel chases after it, and it gets kicked out off of Heckel, and this will be a goal kick here for Chile. 15 minutes here on the clock. Chile will do the goal kick. We're in the first half of play. Nernix leading 1-0.
Number 20, Julie Von Distel. Number 23, Caitlin Akers.
Ball comes down, headed by Hasek. Second head. Goes up towards Heckel. Heckel tries to pass back to Hasek, but she was moving a different direction, didn't get it. Now Lindbergh takes over. Goes upfield as Duff comes up, and now it's kicked out of bounds. This will be a Lindbergh throw-in just behind the midfield line. Throw-in goes to Hagley, who's back in the game, and Solverig really giving her the business. Ball's loose again, and Von Distel dribbling down slowly as Duff gives her interference, and now kicked off of Duff out of bounds. This will be a throw-in by Hagley. Comes the throw. Headed by Duff. Now here comes Nernix. Coming up field is Prusser, who kicks it loose. I think intending for that to be a lead for Heckel, but Heckel can't get to it quickly enough, and Chile comes out and grabs it. Here comes the kick. It comes off of Heckel. And Heckel takes a moment of pause to kind of say, what the heck, man? You know, but, and then she doesn't act on it because she thought it was premature kick, but they just kept in play. Now they've blown the whistle again. Here comes the Chile goal kick. Comes downfield, goes to Duff. Duff knocks it up towards the midfield line. So now reaches out towards that far sideline. Ellie Brown tries to track down. She can't. Kicked upfield, rolling towards the near side, the far side corner, and kicked out of bounds by Smith. Be Lindbergh throw in here. 12:46 on the clock.
Take it in, girls. Take it in. You can do it.
Throw in. Happens as Nernix now clears it up, kicks it all the way upfield, and it will go out at the midfield line. Lindbergh walks to go get that ball. 12:22 on the clock. It is 1-0, folks. Free kick by Jessica Prusser. Comes Lindbergh, dribbling all the way in, and that will finally go out and be a goal kick for Ruttencutter.
On the field for the markers, number 12, Shannon Berry.
Shannon Berry comes into this game as Ella Hasek takes a break. 11:35 on the clock. Ball headed down. Downfield gets knocked out. It'll be a Nernix throw in. About 30 meters past the midfield line. Here comes the throw. down off of
Let's go, girls. You can
Brown.
do it.
Lindbergh now controls, takes it up towards the midfield line, kicks it downfield, and goes quite a distance before it goes out, but it will be a Nernix throw-in. Deep in Nernix territory here, 10:56. We are 1-0. It's a throw up along the far sideline as that gets knocked out. It'll be a Lindbergh throw-in. Throw-in happens. Tell you what, Nernix is not letting anybody pass them. Those balls get thrown in, those offensive players try to move downfield, doesn't matter. They've got 1-2 white jerseys right on them. And it's been working that way against Nernix. For Nernix, for the last 4 or 5 games I've watched, that's pretty much how everybody's been guarding Nernix. They just know they can't let any players loose. And got a foul here.
Come on, Green, going right back.
As Barry gets tied up and knocked to the turf. Silvert will be kicking here from about 15 behind the midfield line. She kicks it down towards the far side post. Comes down as Prusser gets it, gets free, gets around one, kicks it out left, and nobody's coming in to help her, and that gets knocked out of bounds. And this will be a corner kick for Nernix. As set up here, hand is up, comes the kick. It is up in front of the goal. Headed once, headed twice. Gets loose, goes out towards the far side corner, and now that is kicked upfield by Lindbergh. We have a whistle. And they're going to give the free kick to Lindbergh. I think that's going to do a whole lot here, but teams shift downfield. That's the kick. So high bounces down as Ruttencutter comes out, slides out and gets the ball. And now we've got some hot words happening between Sarah Ruttencutter and Maura Hagley. And I'm going to give a free kick here to Solverud. In the Nernix box, here comes the hand and the kick. And boy, can she kick. Thing goes pretty far, comes down, goes back to Duff, who kicks it out at the midfield line. Be a Lindbergh throw-in. I mean, I see a play like that, and I think to myself, Maura Hagley's just out there competing. She wants to, she's not doing her job if she's not, frazzling, causing the goalkeeper to be frazzled. There's no point in her just laying off. It's a line, obviously, but Lindbergh's now getting a bunch of calls, and this is getting the crowd excited and into this thing as there's now another free kick that's up on the far sideline. It's about 30 meters in front of the midfield line. They're setting this up like it's a goal kick. Here comes the kick. It's low. Headed upfield by Nernix as Silver tries to get up there to it. Sorry, that's Smith. Now she dinks it up towards Heckel, who comes in. She shoots. It comes off the hands of the goalkeeper. What a great save. What a great attack by, a great feed, a great attack by Heckel, and then a great save by Ali Chile. Just 1, 2, 3, everybody doing their jobs. We have another whistle out there. 6:52 on the clock here in the first half of play. We are 1-0 favoring Nernix Hall as we get set here. It will be a Nernix free kick. It'll be about 15 in front of the midfield line.
On the field for the Flyers, number 25, Emily Buckles.
Here comes the kick, hand is up, comes down as Duff controls. Kick downfield, and that will stay in. Nernix kicks it out towards the goal. As Chile comes out, Heckel trying to get a foot out and just sort of soft control it, and Chile just came out and disrupted the play as it was developing.
I saw the warm-up coming.
Allison Host. Players just now driving it. Ball's loose again. Hey, Heckel's got it. She did it. She got around Chile on that one. So the ball again. The team's been feeding those leads in the past few plays to Lindsay Heckel, and Chile's been right on top of it each time. And this time she just kind of anticipated Chile being there and did a little tap of her foot to the left. As Chile went down, she just kind of like got around her, and there was a wide open net. So we now have Nernix 2, Lindbergh 0. About 6:05 on the clock for that goal. Lindsay Heckel now with a goal. The two-time goal scorers for Nernix Hall now with goals.
Goal scored at 35-4. Correction, 34-4.
Let's go, kidney boys. Keep talking.
Come on, Flyers! Come on, Flyers!
All right. 5:23 on the clock as they fight for it. Lumber tries to pass in as Brewster gets around everybody. She comes down the near sideline, kicked out of bounds by Lindbergh. We are now 2-0. The team from Webster Groves intending to go to Kansas City to play in the semifinal round. Pass to Heckel. Heckel crosses, but it comes off a Lindbergh head. Ball loose again, and major check out there as Grave comes in and just, with her entire body, takes out the Nernix player. I'm not even sure who that was. She was just a white spot on the turf when that play was finished. This will be a free kick for Nernix as they set this thing up. It's going to be about 3 Lindbergh ladies standing in front of her, and everybody else is along the top of the box. Spread out. Taking the kick will be Cristino. There we go. 2-0, folks. We got 3:55 on the clock. Here comes the kick. Straight at the goal into the hands of Chile. She's been through a lot more trying circumstances. I don't think kicking straight onto her is going to phase her a bit. She seems to have pretty good radar on where the ball is going in those situations. The only way you're going to get that ball in past Chile is by having her not in the box. 3:27 on the clock. Nernix leading 2-0. Ball kicked out of bounds by Lindbergh. This will be a throw in for Solverud. We have players changing out. Looks like Hassick's going to come back into this thing, and Shannon Berry goes out.
On the field, number 3.
She's already winded, Charlie. Take advantage.
Here comes the throw from Solverud. Comes down off of Allgaier. Goes back to Hassick. Comes up to Prusser. Prusser surrounded by green jerseys. Gets the ball taken away, but We got a whistle, and this will be a free kick here for Lindbergh. We'll be kicking it deep in their own end of the field. 2:37 on the clock as things tick down here to the half. Kicked up over the midfield line. Lindbergh in control. They try to pass it up. Comes in off a head, off of Prusser, loose again. Prusser comes in for it, and that will stay kept in play. Excellent job by Hagley. Hagley is not here to surrender anything to anybody. Ball goes back to the Nernix defense, who passes it back up to the midfield. Now we got another whistle against Grafe, who's all but picking players up and throwing them to the turf. And I think, yep, there comes the yellow card. So she, a couple of rough plays from her. I would say they're kind of on the line, but, they're going to give her the yellow just to say, hey, get it under control a bit here. We'll give you one, not three. Here comes the free kick from Smith. That goes deep downfield. Dribbling with it is Allgaier, who gets smashed to the turf as Melville takes it, kicks up towards midfield. Duff comes up, kicks that forward again. As they fight for it, now goes to Heckel. Heckel dribbling around. She kicks on the goal, and if this were the game of football, she would have 3 points. Unfortunately, this is soccer here in America. 1:31 on the clock. Don't even get me started between soccer and football. It will be a goal kick here for Ali Chile. 1:19 on the clock. Here comes the kick. It's low. Really front of the midfield line is Heckel gets it loose. Melville kicks upfield to Duff. Duff now contesting for it. Player goes down, and Lindbergh fans want to call him. 49 seconds on the clock here in the first half of play. A feed up towards the middle. Silvera comes in and does a little bulldoze. And that's going to get a free kick here for Lindbergh as the team shift down and everybody's trying to get this thing off quickly. 34 seconds on the clock as Nernix sets up 4 players in front. Here comes the kick. It's low. Comes off that Nernix wall. Bounces back, and now Hasek challenges for the ball. 17 seconds on the clock. Ball's kicked loose out in front of the goal. Ruddencutter comes out and picks it up. 11 seconds on the clock, and Ruddencutter just needs to slow down and let the team shift upfield, and the clock will end things itself. 2 seconds. Here comes the kick. It is up, and that is it. We've ended the first half. It is Nernix 2, Lindbergh 0 on goals by a free kick by Jessica Prusser, and then on an excellent maneuvering Lindsay Heckel. You wouldn't expect it any other way from her. It is 2-0 here at Flyers Field here on the campus of Lindbergh Preparatory School. That's the half. We will be back with more of this Class 4 action in girls soccer. It is the quarterfinals. We'll be with you right after this.
Fans, when you attend a high school game, do you stand at attention during the national anthem? Do you cheer a good play by the opposing team? If your team loses, do you take it well in stride? If you have answered yes to any of those questions, you are showing positive examples of sportsmanship. Don't forget that when you attend high school events, young eyes are watching you for examples of acceptable behavior. By making a conscientious effort, you'll be helping our students grow into better citizens. This message has been brought to you by your friends at the Missouri State High School Activities Association and this local radio station.
Welcome back to Flyers Field. I'm Shawn Greene, and we are well underway here. After our first half of play, we get set for the second half. Nernix Markers are leading this one 2-0. And it has been, I don't want to call it a tooth and nail game, but it has certainly been physical. It has certainly been tight The 2 goals by Nernix, one was scored on a free kick by Jessica Prusser. The other one was on just some great, after having gone up against the goalkeeper for Lindbergh twice, Ali Chile, it was, who seems to be able to predict every kick coming her way. Lindsay Heckel was able to sort of predict her movements and get around her and get a goal in. We have kickoff. We're in the first minute of play as the Lindbergh throws in. Nernix is now guarding the south goal and Lindbergh guarding the north goal. Also out of this game is Liz Kelly, who had a collision with a Lindbergh player in the net, and she went down. She has not returned for the second half. As Lindbergh dribbles the ball up towards midfield, and the ball is taken away by Allgaier. Lindbergh coming back in. I would say the biggest handfuls for Nernix so far as the ball gets loose and Heckel comes down, still contesting. That's the thing. No quick pass, no balls going to the goalie without an offensive player for either team staying right on top of it. They're not going to let the goalkeepers alone at all this game. They haven't so far. Here comes Lindbergh on the loose and a big kick, and Ruttencutter comes all the way out and picks that up. As the Lindbergh player comes in right on Ruttencutter, has something to say. Didn't look like it was anything bad. There was no bad reaction from Ruttencutter's part. But certainly Lindbergh as well as Nernix have been on top of these goalies. They're not letting anything go in this matchup. The defense has been very tight. As the ball's loose, comes to Heckel's foot. She's at the midfield line. She now dinks it up the near sideline as Prusser chases down after it, but it's Lindbergh who gets control, and Prusser keeps it in play. She taps it back to Heckel. Heckel now pops it up towards Cherry, the goalkeeper, who just comes out and catches that. Comes off the head of Duff. Ball's loose as Smith comes out and gets it, and it looks like this is going to get knocked out of bounds, be a Lindbergh throw in as Baudendistel tosses it in. Ball gets centered up. Got a collision with Allgaier and looked like Hussman out there. And here comes a shot on goal, and Ruttencutter scoops that up. 37:03 on the clock. And folks, this game is not finished. If you want to watch some great soccer, get on out here. You can still listen to me. Who wouldn't want to do that? You can hear us on your phone. You can hear us on the internet. You can hear us in Japan. Here comes Nernix. Here comes a cross in front of the goal, and nobody's there to get it. As Allie Brown chases after it, and that will go out of bounds and be a goal kick for Cherry. It is a great day. Cool breeze. You can see it on some of the players out there. I'm sure they're sweaty and hot and, been moving it around, but that's how the game of soccer is played, really. Problem with spring is the humidity. And it is certainly humid. Ball gets knocked out. It'll be a Lindbergh throw-in in their side of the field. Pass goes back. Now a tap up. And now a kick down towards the goal, although it's over on the near sideline. And Duff comes in on it, and she still comes and kicks. And Ruttencutter catches it and goes to the turf holding the ball. Great offensive work to stay ahead of the two defenders that were covering her. Great job by Sarah Ruttencutter getting her hands up, catching that ball, not being phased. Ball kicked downfield. Nernix gets to it, kicks it upfield, bounces back over the midfield line. Lindbergh coming. And Duff gets her legs up, but unfortunately it becomes a handball, and this is going to be a free kick for Lindbergh now, outside the box, just at the top. This is a great opportunity for Lindbergh. We're 35:07 on the clock as they line up. Last time they had an opportunity like this, it was kicked straight into that white wall of Nernix. Here comes the kick. It's up over their heads. Ruttencutter's up and catches it. Sarah Ruttencutter, the senior goalkeep, has been playing behind the junior Liz Kelly, but doing the job here for the Nernix markers. Everybody has their hand in it. Silver kicks up the near sideline. I'm sorry, that was Smith. Smith does another fake as the ball comes back to her, kicks it back up. Actually, nice placement for Heckle. Prusser gets it. She now kicks a feeder, and Chili's going to come out and get that one. She rolls it out to the right. Now kick downfield. So, got a whistle. They're going to give here a kick for Lindbergh, but they're returning back to Lindbergh's end for this. I'm sorry, Nernix kick. As they'll shift down, it goes to Heckle. Nice feeder, but Heckle was covered very closely and couldn't get a shot off, and basically dribbled it out of bounds as this now becomes a goal kick. Allie Chili will kick this. 33-20 on the clock. Here comes the kick. It's low, about 3/4 distance upfield, headed by Nernix. Goes to Allie Brown. Allie Brown taps it over on the left side. Hassett keeps it in play. Goes to Prusser. Now up the middle to Brown. Brown gets it. She has a defender. She goes down. Here comes the cross, and she can't do it. Intended for a kick, but she was just way too far to the right of that post, and it ended up just going up and over the goal. It will be a goal kick here for Allie Chili. She does just a short toss out to the far sideline, goes up to the midfield as Lindbergh now takes control. Ruttencutter gets back in goal. Here comes Lindbergh up that far sideline. She slips and falls. Both players end up slipping and falling. And now Brown's in on it. So they fight for this. Ball gets kicked out. Comes back to Brown. Brown taps it over left to Hassett. Hassett kicks it up the left side of the field. And Chili comes way out for that. Otherwise, and had she not cut that off, that would have been another breakaway for Lindsay Heckle. But ball comes upfield. We got a handball. This is Nernix will now kick this. I can say that the Lindbergh fans are not liking the calling here today. Here comes hand up. Rachel Solverud kicking this thing. Here comes the kick. All the way downfield. Bounces the turf. Allie Brown gets it. Centers it up. Lindbergh tries to clear it, and it pops loose. Takes a bounce, and Chili comes out and catches it. Nice job by the Lindbergh defense and by Chili. Holy smokes. Hey, if you're just tuning in, Woodland One is a Webster Groves radio station, so, of course we favor the teams of Webster Groves, but we try to talk about everything fairly. We have a Lindbergh player down. Looked like she took a ball to the head, and the trainers come out. She slowly gets up. It looks like this is Katie Grafey. I'm sorry, parents. I called her Grafe the whole time. I'm Green with an E on the end, and I'm not Greeny. All right, so she's up. She's going to walk off the field on her own. Nobody's holding her. That's good. As I think they're having all the ladies get a drink of water here. They're coming back out onto the field, so. Here comes a free kick. deep in the Melville end, or Lindbergh end, and it comes all the way down. Nernix is there to cut it off, but she wasn't finished. She kept pushing on and trying to get through. She's now looking for a call.
On the field for the Flyers, number 24,
I think that
Wolford.
trying to identify that player. It seemed dangerous. That Nernix wasn't taking that seriously enough, but broken up nonetheless. Here comes a goal kick taken by Solverud. Bounces several times, comes up to midfield, comes down, and now the ball's loose as Prusser gets behind it and knocks it free. Charging down after it is Ella Wolford. Gets to it first, kicks upfield, and now over the midfield line again. Here comes Lindbergh on the advance. Over on the far sideline, here comes a chip across her, and Duff is there. She gets it upfield, and that goes to Prusser. Prusser gets around her defender, moves up, crosses over the midfield line, kicks it loose as a feeder, and Sheely's already out. She knows what's coming. She scoops it up, does the drop kick. 29-36. We are 2-0 here in the second half of play. Lindbergh needing to do some work here to climb back into this thing as time ticks down. Winner of this game goes to Kansas City to the semifinals, played at Swope Soccer Park. It's a really nice facility out there. It's much like our very own soccer park here in St. Louis, just the Kansas City version. Been there a couple times for the Webster Statesman victories. And they won state. The next player goes to the turf, waiting for the call. And as I said, they're letting him play. Here comes a cross, and that goes right into Chile. Wow. It was a great shot and a little far out, but Chile is not falling for any of that stuff, as I've said. But these goalkeepers so far in the goals, if they're there, they're not letting the ball through. The only way you're going to score on them is if they're not present. These players topple to the turf, no calls, and they kick one up the middle. Here she comes, a kick, and it's wide. That was Lindbergh on the kick. Here comes another cross. Cleared up. And Nernix does another clear up to the midfield line, headed back by by Lindbergh. Sorry, folks. I got 3 teams that I broadcast in the past week, all wearing green. Here comes Nernix. Smith gets it. And there's a collision. It looks like they're calling this for Lindbergh. I don't quite understand it. He's saying she raised the leg up to kick her out of the way, and that's why they get a free kick here. So far on these free kicks, these ones that could go to the goal. Obviously 0-2 on these. First one into that Nernix white wall that they set up. Second one was over the Nernix over that wall, but straight into the hands of Rittencutter. And now we get set here. They're going to put a 3-lady team up in front as the wall. Nernix shifting some players in and out, getting some fresh legs in here. And they're still discussing how they're going to do this.
On the field for the markers, number 3, Ella Hessick.
All right, Hessick comes in, and getting set to kick is Katie Miller. Chile is way out of goal. She's about half the distance from the goal to the midfield line. So Hessick is coming out again as the crowd cheers. I don't understand that. So apparently they couldn't make the play. They couldn't change out the players. So here we go. All right. We got the wall set up. Here comes the kick. Kick is high and over the goal and nothing. A lot of setup for a football-style goal through the uprights. This will be a goal kick here for Ruttencutter. She's in for Liz Kelly.
For the markers, number 3, Ella Hassick, and number 21, Amy Kaufman.
So Hassick and Kaufman now check into the game for Nernix. We are 27-17 on the clock. Here comes the kick by Ruttencutter. Comes down about 30 yards in front of the midfield line. Sorry, 30 meters. Comes free kick for Nernix. Goes all the way down to Chile. It gets over her head, but she comes back and catches it. And again, we've got white players right in the mix on that. Nobody's leaving anything for granted. Prusser with the ball. She shakes two defenders, gets around them again, loses the ball, gets around them, brings it up. And now the ball is taken away by Wolford as she dribbles it up the far sideline, kicks it down, and that gets kicked out by Nernix. So this will be a throw-in for Lindbergh. Comes the throw-in, headed away by Nernix. Goes out to the far sideline. I think this is Allie Brown with it as she dribbles up the field. Gets knocked down, and I'm sorry, that is not Allie Brown. Ball kicked loose again as Chile comes out for it, and chasing after that was Ochterbeck. Looks like we had a bad hit from behind as Lindbergh player goes down. We'll have a free kick just in front of the midfield line, and it's already taken. They took it quickly, and one Nernix player's down as the ball rolls out. And now they're going to call a foul against Lindbergh, and the crowd here roars over that. This will be a free kick for Solverid. Man, does she have a leg. I mean, I wonder if they practice her at kicking goals from the midfield line. Nernix really ought to do that. 25-11 on the clock. Here comes the kick. It is up, and it's down and loose as Schwarzen goes after it, brings it out to the near side corner, taken away by Lindbergh, passed upfield, crosses over the midfield line, up along the near sideline. Loose again, goes to Prusser. Prusser moves out, shakes two defenders, kicks it up along the far sideline as it rolls down there and kicked out of bounds by Lindbergh. 24-36. It is 2-0 favoring Nernix Hall here today at Flyers Field. .23 on the clock as it continues to tick down. It's been a great day for soccer. Ball's thrown in, off ahead.
For the markers, number 2, Allison Brown, number 3, Ella Hassick. And number 5 for the Flyers.
Has it with it. Loose again. As Nernix gets control of this, Algar kicks it out towards the far sideline. Lindbergh takes control again, moving up the far sideline, closing in on that corner. She now crosses, knocked away by Nernix. Kicked upfield. And it's all green jerseys waiting there at the midfield line. Stopped. Here comes a boot towards the net. And it gets past all the Nernix players, and it is kept out and kicked out of bounds by Caitlin Hampton. This will be a throw-in. It is not a corner kick. You're listening to the Class 4 quarterfinal here at Flyers Field on Woodland One Sports. I'm Shawn Greene. You can listen to us live at mixlr.com/Woodland1. You can listen to these recordings at soundcloud.com/Woodland1. Ball gets kept out again, and this will be given a giving a free kick here to Nernix. Deep in Nernix end of the field. Silver, of course, giving it the boot. And it comes up and out. This will be a Lindbergh throw in. 15 in front of the midfield line. Goes in as Akers moves around with the ball. Still has it. She crosses way up top of the box, and Prusser gets a foot behind it. That gets kicked out. It will be a Nernix throw in here. Throwing in will be Hampton. 21-57. Haven't done my grandma shout out yet. Shout out to Grandma Duff. Another shout out to Grandma Heckle. I know you both are listening because that's how you roll. And you'll notice I didn't do any wheelchair jokes in that. 21:35 on the clock. This ball rolls out, and they're going to call that as Nernix picks it up, intending to play on the goal, and they blow the whistle and basically say, now this is a Melville ball. So the players shift up to the midfield line as Melville will throw this in. 21-16.
On the field for the Flyers, number 4, Grace Mira. And number 18, Rosie Hess.
Kick comes up the far sideline as that rolls out and kicked out by Nernix. Ball thrown in. Kicked up. Another pass upfield. Nobody there. Nobody's there at all. And I'm beginning to... Lindsay Heckle's way back. She's at the midfield line, moving slowly. Allie Brown passes back to Heckle. Heckle taps up towards Hasek. She's surrounded by 3 jerseys, green jerseys, and they take control of the ball. They pass it back out again. 20 minutes, 14 seconds left on the clock here to play. As Lindbergh comes in with it, and it's loose, and Ruttencutter comes out as that ball was challenged, but it looked like she was pretty secure in her ability to get that, and that's what happened. So she does a drop kick, goes up, comes down at the midfield line. Melville in control, but here comes Allie Brown. He kicks it off the Melville player, and she will be a Nernix throw-in. Hampton will be throwing it in.
On the field for the markers, number 12, Shannon Berry.
As Heckle kicks it out of bounds off of Lepper. Hampton will throw it again. Goes towards the middle of the field to Berry. Ball gets knocked loose. It's over in the near side corner and kicked out by Lindbergh. Will be Heckle with the throw in. She goes up towards that near side post. Gets kicked upfield. 18 minutes on the clock. As Silver comes up and challenges, and now the ball's loose out towards the midfield line. Here comes Lindbergh. Kick up. Duff gets it. Her kick is blocked. Loose again. And finally, it gets kicked up to the midfield line. Lindbergh sends it back. Out on the near sideline. An attempted cross as Duff kicks that upfield. Kicked out again, and this will be a Nernix throw-in here on the near sideline. Looks like 18:02 on the clock. Yep, just broke that 18-minute mark. As Nernix Hall leading this one 2-0 from 2 goals in the first half of play. And it has been all action out here today. No dull moments. And whistle as they set up to do the throw in. It's Lindbergh, and they seem to be confused. And Lindbergh, here we go. Finally the throw. Bunch of time wasted on that. As we get down to 17:07 here in the second half play. Nernix dribbling up the left side of the field, and ball gets knocked loose and is kicked out of bounds by Lindbergh. It'll be a Nernix throw in near the far side corner. As Nernix does a jog down to the ball. Here comes the throw into Heckel. Heckel dribbles back.
On the field for the markers, number 2.
Tries to cross it, but it gets knocked back. Goes high in the air. Takes a big bounce. Lindbergh can't quite control. Comes down the turf. And now Nernix can test for the ball. They're going to call foul against Lindbergh. This will be a free kick here for Nernix Hall. Hand is up in the air. Here comes the kick. It's on the far sideline, right towards the goal. It'll be long and out. This will be a goal kick for Chile. 15:42. Chile goes back. Here comes the kick. And it is out towards the far sideline, off the head of Smith. Duff with the ball, tries to feed it to Allie Brown and can't get to it. Another throw in as Hampton keeps it in bounds. Lindbergh taps it up. Falls loose again as Allgaier kicks it back over the midfield line. Goes back to Lindbergh, now kicked out towards the far sideline. The ball comes down, controlled by Mira. Mira passes again to the inside to Hussman. And the kick on the goal is just wide as Ruttencutter goes to the turf. And it just scrapes past that near side post. This will be a goal kick for Nernix Hall. This thing almost a goal here for Lindbergh. And I'll tell you, they have worked hard for one. Here comes the kick by Ruttencutter.
Number 7, Aaron Clancy. For the markers, number 3.
Takes some bounces back. It's knocked out. It'll be a Nernix throw in. Oh, you might have heard that crowd noise. That ooh. That was a near goal. Lindbergh passes back and forth just around the midfield line. Allie Brown comes in, knocks it over to Allgaier. She does a soft tap upfield, and now Hassick challenges for it. Pass goes out to the far sideline. So at the midfield line, 13:34 on the clock. And that is kicked out of bounds by Nernix. It's been somewhat of a rough game today. I haven't mentioned that. A yellow card was handed earlier to Lindbergh. I can't remember who the player was. But after that was handed out, things seem to get pulled back a little bit. Still see players tumbling to the turf. But nobody's looking for, expecting a call. It's been the way it's how it's been all day today. A funny perspective when you're a broadcaster, Hassick gets the ball over on the near sideline. She's challenged for it, gets it loose. Knocked loose again, rolls out. This will be so we just had an incident here with Hassick up on the near sideline as, her defenders getting in the way of her getting to the ball. She just kind of walked through her. She went down. Again, no whistles or calls. It's just the way it's kind of been today. As the ball's thrown into Heckel. Heckel tries a header into the goal, but is wide on the near side post. We just broke the 12-minute mark as Chile now will kick. As I was saying, if you're a parent, of course, you want every call to happen. Everybody always wants their babies protected, and if you're the broadcaster, you want the referees to let them play a little bit, but there's a fine line. But it's been, I think, relatively safe out here today. Just remember, love your officials. They're out here working hard. Ball's loose in front of the goal for Lindbergh, and Duff tries to clear it up. It goes to the legs of Melville, comes back a little bit, and that allows everybody time to reset. Another cross in front of the goal, and Ruttencutter will come out and scoop this up. And as I was mentioning that, the Katie Miller just kind of was ghosting Ruttencutter, and Ruttencutter just kind of stopped and just was kind of like, okay, get past me. I don't want you standing right next to me. But that's the way this game's been played. Another kick on goal, and that is caught by a Ruttencutter right at the near side post. Excellent save. Ruttencutter has filled the bill here, having to come in after the replacement of Liz Kelly, who got some bad contact in the net on an attempted goal by Lindbergh, but that was broken up. It took her out of the game, and Ruttencutter has really filled the bill here today. Some great saves. Here comes a pop towards the net. It'll be wide, and Chile will scoop that up. About to break the 10-minute mark here. Here comes the drop kick. Talking to Matt Margis, the trainer for the Nernix team, and I forgot what I asked him, but one of the questions came up was like, who's the most easygoing player that you have? And he's like, I don't know. And then he immediately stops himself. He says, Liz Kelly. She is the easiest person to deal with. All right, ball's kicked up and loose and comes down over on the near side corner as now we have a whistle. And they're going to give the free kick here, it looks like, to Nernix, to Hampton. Hampton will be... Okay, so he called it out of bounds.
On the field for the markers, number 12, Shannon Berry.
And they continue to play, and now he's making Nernix do the throw in here. Here comes the throw. We are 9 minutes, 13 seconds left before one of these teams is on the track to Swope Field. Another kick towards the goal is scooped up by Ruttencutter. Goes all the way back. Headed in a loose ball, and Ruttencutter comes out again and picks that up as Clancy charges for it. But we have a whistle. It looks like they're going to give Lindbergh the free kick here in front of the goal. They're outside the box. Crowd shouting for Lindbergh to hurry this thing up because we got 8:26 on the clock as it continues to count down, and the more time they take, obviously their chances close. But to get one goal would do a mountain of help for this Lindbergh team. We have four players up front. Here comes the kick. It's over on the right side, and it will be long and be a goal kick for Ruttencutter. 8:02 on the clock. Ruttencutter gets it, and she's just going to walk this thing out as she should. Now comes the time for Nernix to eat up as much of this clock as they can. Lindbergh needs to get its plays off and try to keep this Nernix team reeling. I don't think either one of those plans have really been implemented yet. Ball gets kicked out. This will be Hampton with the throw in here on the near sideline. Sarah Ruttencutter in the goal today after Liz Kelly taken out in the first half on a collision in the net. Ball's up, headed by Duff. Allgaier tries to clear it upfield, tries to feed it to Heckle, but it goes to Hess. Heads it. And now Lindbergh kicks it up. It's a little bit loose here as Duff gets in front of the ball and they fight for it. Still wrestling for it as Duff miraculously gets this ball kicked upfield on the near sideline with some help. Lindbergh with the ball kicked up to the midfield line, now passed out to the far sideline. Silver comes in, boots it downfield. And that's the kind of time Chile comes out. She's going to pick it up. She's way outside the net. About 6.5 minutes left here. So the ball's kicked down the far sideline, comes off ahead. And kicked out of bounds by Nernix. It'll be a throw in for Lindbergh. About to break the 6-minute mark. We are 2-0 favoring Nernix Hall. Lindbergh needing to get a goal to stay in this game, to make it anyone's game. As it is, Nernix Hall set to move on to Kansas City this weekend to play in the championship. The semifinals, to be exact. Ball's kicked towards the net. It is wide of the far side post, and this will be a goal kick for Ruttencutter. It really should be taking her time about getting that ball and setting this up. She has a little bit of a hustle to it. 5:25 on the clock as she goes back for the kick. She boots it upfield, comes off a Lindbergh head, comes up to the midfield line. As Prusser's opposite, Peyton Hussman, who also wears the 9, gets in on that. Cuts out the middle, pass upfield to Heckle. Heckle gets it. She's guarded by 1. Tries to get around her. Can't quite do it. And Heckle throws her to the ground. And she gets the yellow card. I think she's a bit frustrated by her being in her way. That's sort of the rules of the game, though. And took her hands and just tossed her to the turf. Said, hey, look, man, you're in my way. So Heckle goes out. She's like, all I need is a bottle of water. For all I know, she just wants a drink. 5 minutes left in this thing as it gets tapped up towards the middle. One of the marker's strong offensive weapons is out of the game, and one marker gets run over here. And this will be a free kick. And Nernix needs to take as much time as it can to set up this play. But they seem to be too anxious in getting this stuff to go. Silver will be taking the kick. 4.5 minutes left here. Name of the game now is Eat Clock. Here comes the kick. Goes downfield. It's long to Allie Brown, but Chili's out, and she can't get to it in time. She comes in alone, takes out Chili, the goalkeep, and nobody's there to assist. Had she had some help, that could have been a goal. The goal was wide open. Ball comes down again, and I think they're going to call a handball here for Brown. 4:02. So we got another yellow card getting handed out here against Allie Brown. And she kind of puts her arms out like, what? Who, me? I did something? Yeah. Anyway, 4:02. We're frozen at 4:02 on the clock. We are 2-0 as Hassick comes into the game.
For the markers, number 3, Ella Hassick.
So playing forwards now are Hassick, so you now fight for the ball up on the far sideline. at the midfield line, gets knocked out. This will be a Lindbergh throw-in. As time ticks down here, 3:37. The only good news for Nernix in this whole thing that's happened is that the only thing that's happened is Nernix has lost its offensive muscle. But I don't know that it really matters. With 2 goals, 2-0 lead in goals, as long as the defense are back there doing their job for Nernix. Solverud now kicking a free kick over on the far sideline. Here comes the kick. Goes downfield to Hasek. Hasek gets a foot on it but can't control it. She's surrounded by 3 jerseys. Does a little maneuver and has it cleared. Pounces in front of her and it goes straight to Chile. Hasek, a little unexpected for her. Had she been a bit more aware of what was happening with the ball. Ball comes upfield and we got a whistle. This will be a free kick, I think, for offsides. And ball's kicked upfield. 2:47 on the clock. Ball's loose, headed up. So I was saying, the Nernix defense in the midfield's still out there. They've been doing a lot of the work here today. This ball's loose. Not loose. Controlled by Lindbergh. That goes out, and this will be a goal kick for Nernix, who again should be taking its time. 2:23 on the clock. Looks like it will be Solverud kicking the ball. They're making this a free kick, not a goal kick. Free kick by Solverud. Here comes the boot. It is up, comes down the midfield line, gets past the Lindbergh player, and it will roll all the way back to Chile, who's pretty far out. Hasek comes in to threaten. And now we have another whistle that will go against Caitlin Hampton. It's a free kick. And they're trying to just run and play with it, and ref's like, no, you got to play it from here. So as we tick down, 1:35 on the clock, here comes a big pop up in the air, and that will go out of bounds as Grace Mira tries to come in and get a piece of that, but gets out of bounds, gets behind the goal before she can do anything. 1:24 on the clock. Nernix leading this one 2-0. And I don't want to call this game yet. It really has been that kind of a game. Anything could happen, I think. Ball's up, comes off ahead. 2 players push each other down as the ball rolls out. And this will be a Lindbergh throw-in. And they reverse the call. So Hasek was kind of like, hey, man, this is our ball. And it took the midfield, center field ref to call this. So Nernix switching players out. We are at 45.9 seconds frozen on the clock here. And it's at this time I can call this thing that Nernix Hall is looking to go to Kansas City. They will play in the semifinals, and then the finals will be held on Saturday. 3rd place will also be. So they're guaranteed 2 more games in the season. So the ball comes in. Emily McDaniel is in this game now, as is Ochterbeck, all playing forward. 30 seconds on the clock. Ball's out as Nernix walks to the ball. And that's what they should be doing. That's what she should be doing. Good work by Allison Host, who now throws it in. Goes on in to Ochterbeck, who goes down. They kick it upfield. This will roll out on the near sideline. 9 seconds left as Duff holds the ball, walks out, and is just watching the time click off the box as she kind of fakes a move. And that is it. The Nernix Markers are headed to the semifinals at Swope Soccer Park in Kansas City. That game will be played, I think, on a Friday. The semifinals, the finals will be held on Saturday. You can check our Facebook group, which is Nernix Markers Sports Fans. We will post up. We have to make some decisions over at Woodland One Sports if we're going out there. But from here today, Nernix Markers move on. They are in the state championships. They are going to Kansas City. They have punched their ticket. We do want to remind you that this broadcast was done by volunteers at Woodland One Sports. Requests to use this broadcast are welcomed and encouraged. Simply submit a formal request to woodland1radio@gmail.com. You can expect a quick response, copyright 2019. And the teams go out and shake hands. It was pretty rough and tumble out there today. Derek Heckel was here. He'd be saying a lot about that, but it's kind of what you expect for a quarterfinal game. And the teams that make it this far are competitors. They go at each other. They're not going to let up the little things. They don't make those little mistakes. This is the cream of the crop. Yes, you always want to see the calls made against the opposing team's players, but at the same time, if everybody got their way, we wouldn't really have a game. It'd just be one whistle after the other. The officiating, I thought, in this was fair. It was, I thought, pretty even. And it's not to say that everybody was on their best form. But this thing is concluded. It was a great job done by both teams. Nernix Hall wins this one 2-0. We want to congratulate them, and we also want to take the moment to congratulate the Lindbergh Flyers, who clearly played an outstanding season here. They end the season 16-10. That is certainly not the kind of record that I would expect to announce a team that played as well as they did today. Congratulations. The last game I mentioned how their next event will be an award ceremony, and they will deserve every single award handed out at that thing. The unfortunate thing about sports is that only one team does not end the season on a loss. In this case, for now, that is the Nernix Markers. We want to wish you all, first of all, thank you for tuning in and wish you all well. It's a beautiful Saturday afternoon. I bet you Forest Park is crammed. From here at Flyers Field, I was Shawn Greene. Thanks for listening, and good afternoon.